Thank you very much for joining this session today. So this is the last day of our 3-day exams webinar series, basically on how to ace exams like a valedictorian. So we are very glad to have you on this call, which is powered by Peer Booking, an on-campus platform for peer support. So I am Ransford, and I am at Peer Booking as a platform engineer and founder. So today we have it as a valedictorian, a female valedictorian from the KNUST College of Humanities and Social Sciences, a person of Emmanuella Kumi. So, hi, Emmanuella, if you are here, let us hear your voice.
Hi.
Awesome.
Good
Awesome.
evening.
Good evening. Emmanuella, you're welcome, and I'm very glad to have you here. So, can you kindly introduce yourself to us?
Okay. I believe I'm audible enough.
Yeah, you're very audible.
Okay, so I'm Emmanuella Kumi, a recent graduate from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where I read BA Economics. And I graduated as the valedictorian for the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. So currently, I'm a research assistant slash teaching assistant with the Institute for Rural Development and Innovation Studies on campus KNUST.
Awesome. That's amazing. I believe being a valedictorian alone, you carry a lot of tips or tricks that will help us as students as you also prepare for the journey ahead. So today our topic is on reading comprehension, analytical expression, and writing. Basically, how to read, not just read, but read smart, expressing ourselves analytically, how to express anything visually, a more or in a comprehensive way, and then how to write the best. Sometimes you would know, but how you even write what you know is a problem. So Emanuela is going to take us through some of these tips that will help us to succeed in our examinations. We are super glad to have you here once again. So we have just 6 questions, kind of a round table. So just 6 questions to end. It's just a 30 minutes question. So by 7:30, we should be done with this session. Right. Thank you very much. So Emanuela, can you tell us about your background in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences? So what unique challenge did you face initially? And what change in approach helped you master the analytical and extensive reading requirement?
Okay, thank you, Ransford. So, in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, particularly the Faculty of Social Sciences, I was in the Department of Economics, so I read BA Economics and as my major, and then Geography as my minor for the first 2 years of my undergrad studies. So generally, I would say for my big challenge when it comes to economics because the first year more like we have final course.
Sorry, Manuela, you went off for a while. Can you kindly repeat?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly now.
Okay, so I was saying for the first 2 years of my undergrad studies, I wouldn't say there was much of a challenge because The first 2 years reading economics, the concepts were more like a recap of what I studied in senior high school. The only challenge would be maybe how bulky it was, combining it with geography as your minor. But all other things being equal, I think it was quite okay. Stressful, but okay. So the main challenge was in third year because, as expected, we are pre-informed that third year will be a peak in the course. So the main challenge I faced was the introduction of new concepts. So one particular course was that was new to us or new to me was the course econometrics. So prior to third year, we've not heard anything, any concept relating to econometrics. So we enter into third year and we are being introduced to a whole new concept which is also kind of calculative. So it was a challenge for me. So then I had to try and navigate through it. So how did I do it? Well, I'd say that that challenge caused me to take my time. Yes, so now I had to spend more time on that particular course to read and try and understand. You couldn't rush things out. So aside reading, I had to take time to discuss the new concepts with senior course mates and then my study mates as well, as I believe picking on other people's brain is better than trying to do it all by yourself. So I think these two things helped me to navigate through the challenge of being introduced to a new concept. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I mean that's very insightful, especially even knowing sometimes you get some exams you think you know, but you'll be seeing something so new, right? And I think these are things that help us to manage or stay composed, right? Get that kind of composure. So thank you very much for that particular tip. So the second question is so we actually know humanities involve extensive reading, right? So I think if you think of health sciences and you think of social sciences, these are two main fields that has a lot of reading, right? So what specific strategy did you employ for efficiently processing heavy reading material, especially for last minute learners, ensuring high comprehension and extracting the key elements for exam application without necessarily getting bogged down?
Okay, answer. Thank you for that question. So, when it comes to reading in the university, I think it's inevitable. You can't avoid it, but you must be able to do it strategically so that you are not overwhelmed and discouraged. So for me, what I did was I took notes in class because one of the things I noticed was when you open the textbook, you have quite a number of pages to read on that particular topic, and you could end up reading things that even isn't the focus of um, the topic being taught, even though it's related, it's not the focus, and you are just spending too much time reading those things. So taking notes in class helped me, or let's say guided my reading. So I knew where to read, to put much attention to, and where to just spend a little time as just to get an add-on knowledge. So taking notes in class was one way that helped me to strategically guide my reading. Yes. So I encourage everyone to take notes in class. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, I mean, yeah, it applies to me too. Yeah. So uh, most other times when it's getting exam time, that's when you'll be searching for those who sit in front in class, right? So yeah, those people, I mean, you guys are holding us. So guys, make sure you take notes when you go to class. It's almost exam time, especially in KNUST. If you don't have the notes, maybe you should try and then reach out to those who sit in front to take notes. Yeah. So thank you very much for that particular tip. Manuela, so writing, we know that writing is critical, right? So how did you actually structure your exam answers and essays to be powerful? So this one we are talking about during exams. How did you structure your exam answers, essays to be powerful, analytical, and highly persuasive to touch the examining part, right? Ensuring you maximize marks for both content and in structure.
Okay, thank you. So to be able to achieve this, I don't think it's a one day thing where you just, when it's the exams day, now before you can be able to structure your essay or your answer to be so powerful and blah blah blah. I think it all starts prior to your exams. So I believe regardless of the university you are in, we are always exposed to past questions. So these past questions gives us the opportunity to at least practice our answers, so we can have solved the past questions, get the answers that are required, then not just to accept the answers for what they are, but you can forward the answers to a lecturer if you are on that terms with a lecturer or a teaching assistant to verify your answers to see if you are really hitting on what is required of you. Because if you just solve the questions and generate your own answers without feedback from an external source, you may be just in your own world thinking you're doing the right thing. So I think practicing your answers from by using past questions and then forwarding it to get feedback from other people, maybe your colleagues who are better than you or your TAs or lecturers, would really help. Yeah. For
Awesome.
economic um for economics, how you pose the question in terms of essays and things, for economics it wasn't really more of like write essay and something. It's more mathematical than a little applications here and there. So you would have a writing part, but it doesn't really entail you having to compose. You rather have to infer to maybe real life circumstances. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think that applies to everywhere, especially even in engineering. You know, you should be good at creating scenarios. So me specifically in exams, even if I don't know anything, I can crack a joke on the sheet for the lecturers to laugh. I mean, I should have a
Okay.
problem, I should get a solution, and I should be able to solve. And that's what is expected of me as an engineer. Yeah. So guys, know your answers, practice your answers, share to lecturers, share to TAs, get kind of a bit of experience as to how your answers should be, okay? Whether essays, whether mathematical references, many others. Yeah, that was very insightful, Ella. So, if you really want to win a free call with Ella on peer booking, I recommend you scan this code. So this gives you a free $50 worth call. So one person is going to get this credits to book a one-on-one call with Ella. So you can scan the QR code or use the link over here to access. All right, good. Yes, Ella, I think it's been an awesome conversation so far. I mean, looking at how to handle big data like essays, right? During exams, understanding of the exams is even a problem, right? Understanding of the
Yeah.
questions is a problem, but giving us some tips to hold that. So if a mid-semester paper on assignments highlighted a weakness in your analytical writing style, so after exam, after missing, what targeted actions did you take to refine that specific skill before the high stakes final exams?
Yes, please. Thank you. So yes, these occurrences are bound to happen. And when they happen, what do you do? So me personally, what I usually do is I go back to the drawing board. So what do I
Okay.
mean? Where did I go wrong? How can I do it better? So for this one, I do a personal reflection. Okay, per what I'm seeing on my exam script. and what the question is asking me, I fell short here. Can I see where I fell short? Personally, maybe there are certain times that I'm able to see where I went wrong, but in times where I'm not able to see, then I go to the lecturer or the TA for their feedback. What were they expecting of me? So it's linked to the previous question you asked. So where I fall short, I make sure I correct it, getting feedback from my lecturers and TAs. So then I get my answer refined. So whenever it's to repeat in end of sem, I don't repeat the same mistakes. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I think this is one of the basic common tips that everyone did, right? So just go back, do a retrospective of whatever you did during the midterm, and then yeah, get what you got wrong to proceed to the final exams. Yeah, that's amazing. So this means that Ella is basically telling us that it's not just a 5 second something, right? It's a progressive approach to excelling during final exams. So the next question will highlight more of this in terms of retention and recall for theoretical questions during exams. So Ella, for courses rely on theories, like maybe we have an economic theory or principles, like names and complex concepts. What innovative memory tricks, maybe deep heat kills sleep giant, blah, 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 that kind of thing, or study techniques did you use to retain vast amounts of theoretical knowledge and recall it accurately during the exams? Yeah, maybe you can give us some two acronyms you use.
Okay, two acronym. Okay. Thank you for the question, Cindy. So for the memory tricks, I was thinking about it. So I think initially I started incorporating mnemonics, try to get acronyms and for some terms so that at least you know what a particular concept is referring to when you see it. But to be honest with you, it wasn't really my thing. I tried it, but it wasn't really my thing. So what I do, I take short notes and then I try to relate it to real life circumstances. So for so I aside the mnemonics that I tried didn't work for me, what really worked for me was taking short notes about the concepts I study. No matter how long they are or many they are, having short notes of them that I can quickly refer to really helped me. Then to retain it, I'll say it is the repetition. Yeah, you can learn something once, twice, but to really have it with you for a long time, you have to keep at it. So even though there were short notes, if I hadn't repeated them, I definitely would have forgotten. So I think aside having those tricks here and there, I think repetition of the trick that you find that works for you is very important. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Repetition. So like, Ella wasn't really a fan of memory tricks, even though she tried. But then what she did was, if you have a shortcut to something, you use it repetitively, right? So make sure you apply it almost all the time. And I think that sticks, especially in more mathematical or theoretical concepts. Yeah, so I think that's something that you guys should also incorporate into your study strategies. So guys, if you want to win a free call worth $50 with Ella on peerbooking, you can scan this code or use the link there to win. Yeah, so we're going to last questions, last question for this session. But then before we get there, I want to quickly just do a throwback. Yesterday, Otuo Sorebo talked about targeting or tackling complex technical problems, right? So we looked at several approaches that we use that, and these are the same things that I think similar things that Ella is also throwing more attention on. So looking at theories, names, complex concepts, essay form, questions and many others, you don't master one approach in just 1 second. Okay, so they deal with systematic and then gradual approaches. You practice what works best for you. And so you realize that Ella has not given any, let's say, hey, this is the approach you should use. No, it might be personal. So like it works for you, it worked for her to be a valedictorian. That doesn't mean it might probably work for you. But then you can implement that maybe many times and might work for you. Okay, so the concept here is retention and recalling. How do we do that? And that's a strategy that we've been talking about. So if you have just a 1 month and 1 week or some few days to that, you can just use that few days to practice one strategy that works for you. And I believe that is going to help you, especially in technical concepts or more complex concepts. Are we good? So if you have questions for Ella, you can post your questions in the chat session and then she will answer them. So please kindly do that before we get to the last question or before we end this session. All right. So Ella, thank you so far. We would like to end with this particular question. So this is very important to me and all the people at peer booking. So it's about confidence and academic voice. Excelling in humanities actually requires developing a strong academic voice, and I think you can attest to that. So, what advice do you have for students on building exam confidence, expressing their ideas clearly, and writing their way to the very top?
Okay, Rasmus, thank you. So, what advice? Well, I would say number one, don't do it alone. Team up with people who are like minded as you are. So, the academic journey can be very adventurous, and there will be your high moments, courses you would really understand and can brag about, and there will be your low moments where you feel like you don't know anything. But having a company of people who are like-minded, who also want to excel, would be able to balance you out. When you are high and they are low, you lift them up. When you are low, they are high, they lift you up. So I think it helps a lot to do this academic journey with someone or people who are like-minded as you are. So don't do it alone. Number two is try discipline. Yes, if you want to achieve something unique or something satisfactory, you can't do it without discipline. That's how I see it. Even when you don't feel like it, you know what you have to do, you still have to do it. Yes, and as you are trying discipline, give yourself some grace. Yeah, there'll be times you will slack, or 3 days you haven't studied, you haven't opened your book. You can beat yourself up, but not so much. Just give yourself some grace and then get back on track. Be disciplined. Yes. And then finally, I would say let clarity guide you. Don't assume, ask. So if there's something you don't really get, don't assume it, voice it out. So here, I think you have to find the confidence in you wherever it is hidden and bring it out to approach people who could help you and gain clarity on what you need to gain clarity on before your final exams. Yes. So this is just a little
Yeah.
I have.
That's amazing. So team up, give yourself some grace, and ask. So these are the three things that can help you to build exam confidence, express your ideas clearly, and write your way to the very top. Yes, I think I agree with you, Ella. Because so in that case means that you're not going to necessarily more practice in exams, right? Yeah, but then if you don't know, ask. That's pre-exams, okay? So one confident way is if you are really confident about yourself, you don't cheat because you trust what you are doing. And that's when giving yourself some grace comes in because, well, it might go bad, Ella said it. That's when you do retrospective after the exams to fix in. You get it? So don't really make yourself rigid. Hey, show yourself, team up with people. What again? Ask people if you don't know, and I believe you're going to get to the top. Good. So, guys, if you want to win a free call with Ella, scan this and then fill the form to get a chance to meet Ella on one-on-one. If you have any questions, share it to the chat section. I think I have some questions here. So let's take the questions as we prepare to end the session. So we have Samuel asking, hey, please, what was your CWA at the end of your first year? Someone is interested in that. Is it something Ella you could share? Maybe it will boost his energy. Yeah.
Whether to boost his energy or not, I can't tell. So I think in my first year, by the end of my first year, my CWA was at 87 point something.
Okay. Yeah, it's possible. My own was around 60 something. Yeah, you see. So yeah, it's possible. So somehow I hope you are good. So it was around 87, and then she was able to maintain that consistency till final year. Okay, and she emerged the top in the college. So guy, maybe you can start with 91 and then um maybe, yeah, maybe you can start with 90 plus and then, keep it up. So thank you very much. If there's any other question, you can bring it up. Okay, so we have, how do you manage the pressure at work, given the title you bear now?
Mine, pressure at
Valedictorian.
work
Yeah.
and the title I bear. Well, title is title, work is work. And I don't, okay, personally, being a valedictorian, okay, that's how I see it. Maybe people wear it on their heads as crown wherever they go, but aside that, I'm just me. So you should rather know me for my personality than know me as a valedictorian. So, anyways, it's how people approach things, but I don't see it as a big deal. When you're at work, you have to do the task given to you. Yeah, because you're valedictorian, you work. But
Yeah.
anyways, I don't see any pressure combining the two. I just think it was just a period, or it is a period. Aside that, you are still you. Yeah.
Yeah, that is very good. I think Jay, you're okay. I mean, well, it's a big deal for my grandmother in the village. Yo, my grandson is a valedictorian of KNUST. That's so massive. Entire family is like that. But you personally, how does it affect you? Yeah, there will be a lot of expectations from employers. Yes, of course, because it has to shape you. And I think Neros mentioned that in the first day, right? It shapes you. It gives you that kind of edge. You've got that chance to give out your best. You have that confidence that you carry something for the world. You get that thing. Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily make you, hey, you are super more important or relevant than someone, as Ella rightly said. So I think we've come to the end of the session. And thank you very much, Ella, for these amazing tips. We're going to, I believe it's going to pay
I think
attention
there's some questions in the.
to them. So
I think
we
there's
will
some.
take the last question. The last question. What kept you moving? As in something that encouraged or motivated throughout your years on campus.
What kept me moving?
Yeah.
A lot of factors.
Okay. Maybe you can give us some few.
Okay, so I'll say um, number one, knowing where I am coming from. I knew that if I give up, I'll really be at a loss. So my background, I saw being in the university as a great opportunity for me. So it kept me going even when I fell down. And in times where this reason wasn't good reason enough, the company of my mother helped me. Yes, there are times I was really down. I felt like giving up. Me knowing my background wasn't enough reason for me not to give up. But hearing her encouragement that keep going, don't give up was enough for me. Yeah. And I think finally to knowing that I have this understanding that there are people depending on me, even though literally there are not people depending on me, but I feel like there are generations depending on me and the outcome of my life. So I have to not give up, but keep pushing. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So remember where you're coming from. That might not be enough. That's why she mentioned that you need to keep company with others. You might rightly have someone who will keep you on your toes, right? Yeah. So thank you very much, Ella, for that amazing answers to our questions. So, guys, peer booking is here for you. It's built by us for you, and it's something that is going to hold you through your entire sessions, not only in the 4 year stay on campus, but for your entire life. You might probably become a peer tutor even after you are done with school. Okay, so make good use of it, whether on free or paid sessions. You can just go to peerbooking.freema.ai to book a tutor now, or you can follow us on LinkedIn or any other social media to know more about what we do. So thank you very much for joining this session. The winner the winner will receive more information on how to access Ella one-on-one. So we will share that in the group or via email. Thank you very much for joining this session. And then we really appreciate your patience and the participation throughout the 3 day events that started on Wednesday till now. We believe that you've learned a lot. We're going to give you a lot from now. Thank you very much once again, and I wish you the best. Bye bye.